Well, good evening, race fans. Very warm welcome to you. I say race fans, at least racing fans. We are here to bid farewell to the F1 23 game with a bit of a Jedi or Viking funeral here for a League of Destruction, a 3-night league only. Some crazy fun as we did in the first night last night. Tonight, though, it's not just me, Webbo, here in the comms box. We are going to bring in AJ, otherwise known as ARL. But AJ, good evening to you and welcome to League of Destruction.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, nice to be here. Apologies for not being able to make it last night, but I'm glad to be joining at least for tonight. So, yeah, bring it on.
Absolutely. We had a lot of fun yesterday. This is no rules racing. Well, almost no rules racing. You can't go backwards in the first sector of the first lap, and you can't be holding people against the wall or trying to force them to retire by holding them still. But apart from that, all rules are out the window, as we saw last night, and we found ourselves watching some quite interesting team relationships develop and be destroyed throughout the course of yesterday's evening. In particular, I want to call out a masterful brake check yesterday in Monza, and then Alpha Alex's retirement from Canada was something to behold. We really enjoyed watching that one. AJ, we're just being asked if you might be able to try and turn your mic volume up at all, because you are rather quiet, apparently. Seemed loud enough in my ear, but just listening in to race admin and what have we. I'm just going to have a look while he looks into that. We're going to find for you the standings after yesterday, and the man with a big target on his back is going to be El Plan today. El Plan has ended up with the lead of this mini championship. I can't for the life of me find the the current standings. Where are we? Oh, this is frustrating. I'm trying to learn a brand new system. So if you find them, AJ, do let me know, because I know that Ricky published the standings just a few minutes ago. We're going to have to go straight into one-shot quali, though, in just a second, and I will do my best to try and find those standings, because it's rather difficult to find. Where did he manage to list them? Drivers' team standings, that's what we're looking for. Okay, so El Plan has 61 points, and Risto has only 35 in second place. Atsu has 33, and then we have Milan and Ollie, Betty, Romet, Dartfart and Mika with XDF1 Pro, all together, those last four drivers all on 21 points. And the team standings, Aston Martin have 77 to Haas's 51, Ferrari have 49, Williams 47, Alfa Romeo 44, Alfa Tauri 40, Alpine 37, and Mercedes have 26 points. The prize pot will be delivered to the winning and the top three teams. They can then divide that prize pot however they see fit. So we shall see, with particular note of the three Diecta drivers across different teams who were helping each other out yesterday. But AJ, do your best to try and follow, if you can, the fastest driver in quali. I'll do the same. And we'll see what kind of creative lines they take. The first track we have tonight for you for a 25% race after this little run in one-shot quali will be the Red Bull Ring in Austria.
Well, Red Bull Ring, it's going to be an interesting one. 4.3 kilometre track, of course, but it's odd coming into something like this. You'd be expected to have all the professional stats and all this, but it doesn't matter to the drivers tonight. Whatever line works, regardless track limits, just take it. Absolutely. We'll see creative lines through this first sector. We were just speculating before we came on that they would perhaps run deep and long into turn one, into the outfield. But really, we can't really think of many shortcuts that are available here at the Red Bull Ring that wouldn't then cost you more time because of the way the track curves and the various barriers and gravel traps that tend to push cars wide. It was different in Monza, where we had chicanes with flat surfaces in between those chicanes. And as we saw in Canada,
tracks with the barriers. Here we go then. I'm on board with Ollie, who's usually a pretty reliable driver to go. Here we go, straight over the exit of turn 1, finds a bit of tarmac to run through. Lenny is in P3, Carmad F14 is in second place, and Kenton is already the fastest driver as we head uphill again towards the turn 3 apex. Perfectly standard line from Kenton here. Haven't seen anything new from him just yet. Looks he must have gone wide in turn 1 to be something similar or slightly ahead of Ollie. Again, a quick time and standard lines through into turns 4 and 5. Into turn 6, again, just floating the car through as you would expect, frankly. And there's no... I was wondering if there might be a hole in the fence for the drivers to aim for. Kenton is still in the lead. Ollie and Ricky Maru are vying for the second position on that front row. Running wide then out of turn 9 to maximise the entry into turn 10. Kenton gets a little bit sideways. Will that welcome Ricky into the line? It doesn't. Kenton, right from turn 1, managed to lead that one with a fantastic launch. But the Haas drivers, AJ, second and third.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was riding on with Ricky Maru through that second half of the lap. It seemed like it came to them in that second sector, but that's really the point there. You can't really make much time up. You just got to drive as if it's, it's the regular line there. But clearly having that speed through there, having them on board with El Palan as well, it's definitely a crucial one through turn 1 and turn 3 even, because you have those sausage curbs, and if you run wide, you really compromise your exit run, which you clearly need on these long straights.
Absolutely. Welcome to everyone who has decided to tune in with us as well. Kenton there, our American driver in the AlphaTauri, has the fastest time. A 104.0 is a pretty quick time around the Red Bull Ring. Ricky Maru is second. Then comes Atsu and El Plan, the man with the target on his back, championship leader at the moment. XDF1 Pro tried to take out several drivers by driving the wrong way around Canada last night, but didn't quite manage to make contact. Lenny's in 6th, and he's looking for a good performance today because he didn't get very far at all in the championship yesterday. Milan 7th, Taffy is in 8th. Then comes Time 1 actor Floyd Pink, Mika, Lemmy, Ashtube, Alpha Alex, Carmad, Ollie, down in 16th, Ollie, with no time registered, and neither did Bucko, nor Studios respond either with the 19 drivers that will take us ahead. Good evening to everyone who has taken the time to say hello in the chat. I've got Floyd there, I've got Ollie, I've got Milan, Mika, Respond is here as well with the threats and reports studios as well, and Loop Racer. Say hello if you're joining us. We are here for a bit of a laugh, a bit of fun, AJ, tonight.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I bet the Stewarts must be having a wonderful time off tonight and for the rest of this weekend. So
the stewards have got the popcorn and are leaning back in their seats. They don't care what's going on tonight.
Well, this track is very infamous for track limits as well. But yeah, none of that happening.
No, indeed, and we won't see much in the way of track limit abuse going on in Monaco either. I think we might see the Nouvelle chicane being skipped, but beyond that, I'm not quite sure how else we can find it. I tell you, the canniest thing yesterday I saw was El Plan avoiding contact being taken out in the final lap by crossing the start-finish line to finish the race in the pit lane, which was proper smart thinking from him as well. It was very, very good. We're going to... I'm just waiting to see who's got any predictions for this race. Lots of people saying that that El Plan is going to be targeted. I imagine so. Atsu is hoping to dip underneath the radar. Ricky Maru was very quick yesterday here in his own league, but we'll have to wait and see. It's anybody's guess, really. I usually watch from the front couple of rows, but today I think it might be a good idea to watch from further back. The 5 lights are on. We've got a few jump starts. It's go, go, go. Who cares about jump starts today? With the Alpine squeezing El Plan against the wall, I think, already, and El Plan is slipping down. That is Kenton over-egging the first corner. He's wiped out the front wing of the car already. The McLaren's doing pretty well. Both drivers up into the top 5 early doors, but looks like Kenton, AJ, without part of his front wing at least. Oh, McLaren slamming into each other.
Oh my. Well, yeah, a lot to cover on. The Alfa Romeo's getting a little bit tight through turn 3. But El Plan, everyone has a target on their back according to Total Wolf, but El Plan definitely targeted at the sides. There's an AlphaTauri going well with a front wing flying in the air there.
Floyd Pink is out. Floyd Pink has retired from the race already. The McLaren is absolutely going bowling and taking everybody out he can think of. We've got Respond trying hard with the Alfa Romeo. I'm not sure whether Respond ended up getting taken out by accident because he happens to be driving a green car, same as our championship leader, and no one can make it through the following few corners. We may have another retirement looming. Atsu gets the fastest lap. He's well out there in front, and Ricky Moreau is 5 seconds away. That's a McLaren Lenny heading into the pits in one of the most complete cars I can see so far, AJ.
Every engineer here is going to be crying right now because these floors are going to be shredded to bits, and some drivers even staying out with that front wing missing. So
we've got a Williams basically going at right angles to the second straight here, trying to take as many people out as possible. There goes a Red Bull being taken out. That's Bucco going for a bit of a busy ride as he rejoins into the side of Ricky Moreau. Ricky's got some work to do as well. El Plan's made it into fifth position with half a wing still on the car, and surely now he's managed to find a little bit of a gap. In front of him is Alfa Alex. Then we've got Lemmy in third, Carmad at F14 in second, but Atsu way out front. He just wants to avoid AJ going too far in front because people are lying in wait. In fact, I can see a McLaren heading in the wrong direction. It's Ashtube down the start-finish straight in the wrong direction. He's looking for... There we go. He's managed to completely head-on collision into Atsu, and that was Atsu with the main target. It's Carmad 14 who's now got the lead of the race.
It's like a little bit of a bowling session for Ashtube there.
El Plan's out.
Some fun out there.
El Plan has been retired by somebody, and in fact it was the Ferrari of Carmad F14 who took himself out after turn one. Lots of weaving going on down the second straight as well, and there's another huge wipeout. That was Ricky Moreau being completely totaled, I think, as one of the McLarens has gone for it. Lenny decided to wipe somebody out, but we've got several cars in the pits. AJ, can you keep up with any action going on anywhere else in the grid?
I honestly can't. 1 minute someone's off the track, the next minute there's a bowling session going on, so it's all unfolding here. I always say it's never over till it's over, but this time I genuinely mean it. I don't think I've meant it any more than I've ever done tonight.
El Plan, Ashtube, Kenton and Floyd Pink all out of the race. Kenton managed to paint a target on his back by getting the fastest line in qualifying. So everyone's taken him. I've got Max Gormley trying to write a message, but unfortunately he's managed to trip the YouTube algorithm to say that he's not able to communicate. We've got Atsu, Psycho Lemmy and Carmad F14 at the front of the grid. Something's happened to Bucco on the outside of turn 10. He is out of the race. Let's see if we can't find what happened to him as Lenny comes towards that final sector. By the time we get there, we may well have lost the car. I think we have. So it was Bucco who has had a problem. Into the pits comes Lenny. And I'm not sure how many drivers, AJ, are actually going to be trying here to complete laps and complete the 25% race distance.
I don't know at the moment, but I've had an on board with Atsu. Atsu's taking the normal line. He's driving as if, does he know the rules? Well, there isn't any rules, but does he know he can avoid the track limits? No, because he looks like he's taking turn 9, turn 10, absolutely smooth within the white lines. Incredible.
I think, going potentially. We've seen drivers go wide off the circuit, and it's actually affected their rear tyre temperatures. Now he's got some problems because Atsu is coming out of turn 1 with a McLaren. What does he do here? Surely the McLaren's going to sideswipe him. As he's looking for an opportunity. No, he's going to tuck in. Atsu, second guessing what's going to happen. He steers to the left as they come towards. That's the Nico Rosberg line around the Red Bull ring. And he managed to avoid contact this time. But surely he's going to be expecting a brake check any second here, AJ.
I was almost anticipating Lenny going right up the inside of the... Who's that? That's an Alpine. Right,
I don't know.
Well, he's done Lenny's job, what I thought was going to happen a few corners before, but Atsu into the gravel, and now, in fact, Lemmy into the lead.
Yeah, Psycho Lemmy this is, into the lead. To be confused with Lenny in the McLaren, that must have decided to wipe out the Haas a lap down. It's lap Mika, he's outside of turn 1 at the moment. Let's see if we can't find. There he is, just as the Ferrari manages to avoid. Milan avoids Mika. He'll have noticed that Mika's had that problem, and it does seem you get a little bit too greedy going around turn 1, and you lose the rear of the car quite easily down there, as now the Alfa Romeo versus the Ferrari is happening at the moment. That's Time Worn Actor, very close, but we've got some super close battling going on. I can see Ricky Maru in 5th position, sandwiched between Carmad F14 and Dirty Taffy, heading down towards turn 1. Very different lines being selected here as Ricky's trying to find out which way to go at the moment. Dirty Taffy, is he going to live up to his name here? He goes around the outside of Ricky Maru. Ricky doesn't want to put himself in a position to be taken out. The Ferrari pauses at the apex to try and catch some more drivers. Dirty Taffy, though, he's got a good seat in the house to look at what is going to go on with the 2 cars next to him, and they're just not quite sure what the other one's going to do. And Ricky finally gets ahead, AJ.
Yeah, but don't worry, he's not out of the midst yet. Oh, it's Dirty Taffy. Has to just back off. But this is more like a learning process for the drivers. Which line is the fastest line to get away through here? As we
it's
now
not
start
just
lap
that,
7.
but it's about what do you think your rival is going to do to you? Which I love to say is just this constant guesswork, and you never know when someone's about to brake check you either. There is mandatory pit stops. They do have to change tyre as well. The long way round turn 10 goes Carmad F14. Taffy takes a conventional line. Several drivers in the pits again. I imagine getting more damage repaired. Atsu has been in the pits. He's on his way out now, and he's got, guess who? It looks like Studios right with him again, who's already taken him out of the lead of the race. This then is Carmad against Dirty Taffy, and again, they're being very careful and cagey with each other.
It's the F1 Pro absolutely parking that car on turn 1 there, nearly causing havoc. But he's having a little bit of fun at the moment with the other Haas driver. I think that's Atsu. Or in fact, yeah, no, Atsu going held up there by XD-F1 Pro. But now, if you, like you said, you have to make that mandatory pit stop as Styko Lemmy into the pits.
Yeah, and he's trying. XD-F1 Pro was trying to weave down the straight. I think he just got hit from behind. Yesterday, he managed to survive the race and finish in 4th by running the wrong way and trying to play spoiler for other drivers. He's doing his best here. Time Worn Actor versus Respond. Respond just braked heavily to let Time Worn Actor through because he didn't trust having a car directly behind him, I think. Respond is holding up the points potential here for Aston Martin, the championship leaders at the moment, but he's got to be feeling as if it could be anybody who's going to take him out next. Dirty Taffy down the inside of the Ferrari. Almost looked like a conventional move, but he was way too late on the brakes. Spins the car out on the bright blue painted surface, the runoff of turn 3, and it didn't work out for him. So down to 3rd after briefly showing into 2nd position. It's lap 8 of 18. And I don't know about you, AJ, but I'm thinking that we ought to perhaps run 5-lappers instead of 25% because it does feel like the sting goes out in the first few laps.
I'm honestly surprised we're still with 13 drivers. We still have 10 laps to go, of course, but the field starts to spread out a little bit, so it gets a little bit tough to see these chaotic moments. But I'm betting on some few drivers at the end of the race might go the other way round.
We've lost XD-F1 Pro, unfortunately. He was the main spoiler out there, and he's just had a problem. Have to suspect that Lenny was part of that retirement as well. We've got more pit stops in the top group. Looks like Leviathan is enjoying it, and Max Gormley saying he loves Studios here as well. So he's cheering on Studios as Lenny allows Ollie to go through. Lots of swapping round of positions happening at the moment. What's happening with Alpha Alex? Haven't seen him much so far on my screen, at least. He had a very eventful Canada, and he's trying to get this car home if he can. He's in 4th position at the moment, and he's got a good gap in front and behind. But you never know when someone decides to go complete bonsai. There's another accident. Incident, I should say. As Psycho Lemmy went bowling down the inside, tried to wipe out the Haas, and then swiftly reset to track and put himself in a position to have another go as well.
It's always an odd one when you're, well, I wouldn't say you're ever in this position, but tonight these drivers are in this position where they've got to try and wipe out the other drivers, but they need to remember to keep themselves intact, and that's not an easy thing to do, I'd say.
No, exactly. We've got plenty of drivers for this this League of Destruction. A lot of drivers just wanting that catharsis to release some anger from a year's worth of struggling with F1 23 online. I think potentially. Respond is in 9th position. He is half a second only away from Milan, looking for the inside line. But is that Milan just showing his inside and trying to dare Respond to have a go down and just show that inside line, as through comes the Williams of Ollie, who is moving himself forward now. Respond a little bit cagey here, doesn't really want to play games with these drivers, just waiting for an opportunity, but you get too close, AJ, and someone just brake checks you, and you've there's your front wing or even your front corner off.
No, absolutely, you're going to have some trust in your rivals, but I wouldn't be talking about that. Whoa, Psycho Lemmy has a little bit of a look as Carmack brake tests him now into turn 4, and I'm surprised there's still no front wing off as Psycho Lemmy gets pushed onto the gravel and in fact spins.
Wow. He does. We've actually, well, for a moment there, we had two Alpha Tauris on the group, but one of them has retired. Kenton, of course, down into 18th position, our second retiree. Milan Respond nice and close together, as well as Ollie. Now, will the Deactors work together, despite the fact that they're on different teams? Will they split any prize money that they managed to win in 3? Because, quite frankly, Milan has been a third Williams for the other two drivers in the main works car so far in this mini championship. We've got Respond still just hanging out behind these drivers, and surely Milan is going to brake check Respond at some point here so that we can bring this championship nice and close together as we enter our second half. We've obviously just got this is 3 races down. Respond is running super close behind Deactor Milan. And Milan was just weaving again. Respond needs to find a nice clear way through here, but he's now got Studios looming from behind as well. You can't play defensive in front and behind at the same time, AJ.
No, you can't, but Respond, I'm surprised he's staying that close behind Deactor Milan there. I mean, if that was me, I'd be completely, as an Alpine charges through Studios out of nowhere. Says, thank you very much, I'll take that position off you. But, yeah. Crucially, Ricky Maru, though, in the pits, he's going to be fed right into the midfield in a place where tonight you don't want to be. So I'd keep an eye on him for now.
Absolutely. We've got he was in the lead for a moment there, I think partly because of the pitting sequence of his teammate Atsu, who's now back into the lead by 2 seconds, and in fact Alpha Alex sets a purple first sector. There are 5 bonus points available per race for the fastest lap, so, and it doesn't matter how you make that fastest lap work, quite frankly. So it can be a sub more 1 minute lap if you can find a way around this track fast enough to do it. But with all these gravel traps on the outside and inside of the corners here at the Red Bull Ring, limited opportunity to make any additional lines work. I'm sensing though you might be able to turn into turn 6 and 7 and get through because it is only grass and it is dry. Speaking of dry, we are expecting some rain in Monaco to start the race. As Lenny goes fastest, here comes Alfa Alex. I think he might be about to get a new fastest lap there for the Alfa Romeo driver in second position. No, he had ended up slower than Lenny that time, and it looks like Ricky Maru trying to kill before he gets killed here in third position at the moment. And they've come to blows once again, the Haas and the Alfa Romeo, and Alfa Alex and Ricky Maru now being passed by the Ferrari of Carmad F1, who was wiping out the braking marker boards. That's an interesting tactic, AJ.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plan was there, but he's gone through up into P2, so I'm sure he'll take that. But I'm surprised Alpha Alex and Ricky Maru are fighting that hard when they were already on the podium. I'd imagine the front runners would not want to make contact. Meanwhile, the back runners, of course, they've got nothing much to lose. But yeah, they're still fighting out as if it's the last lap battle.
Just checking out Respond here. He's in the He's in the Aston Martin, and he's out. And he tried to nerf our leader, Atsu, and he's actually ended up taking his own front corner off at the Marshall station, just on the exit of turn 8, unfortunately for him. So that didn't work. Atsu's being mullered here into the corner by a Red Bull. I think that might have been... Well, I would say that was Dirty Taffy, but I don't think it was. I must have misidentified the car there. It would have been something similar to a Red Bull in colour scheme. We've got all manner of shenanigans happening on the start-finish straight, AJ, at the moment. That looks like Alpha Alex down to 5th now.
Yep, Alpha Alex getting brake tested by Carmad. I think it was there. Dirty Taffy, though. He's up into P2, so he's had a few gains on positioning. And Carmad now just right behind. But the top 5, though, so close to each other. It's going to get spicy for these last few laps. I can feel it.
Absolutely. If you're within a second of the car in front, you can take them out as they break into the corner. As the Ferrari Cardmad F14 goes down the inside into turn 4 and ends up on the outside of turn 5. They are side by side. They've got Ricky Maru waiting to see what happens between the two of them. Will he find a way through? He's too nervous to take on both drivers here. Carmad F14 tries to wipe out the Red Bull, wipes himself out, loses a front corner, and another retirement in that sector of the race. Ricky Maru into second position, AJ. Dirty Taffy down to 3rd.
Yeah, the Haas boys tonight have been able to, whatever they get thrown at them, to respond with that immediately, but they've still got Dirty Taffy right on the rear, so it's not over. It's interesting what happens between Ricky Maru and Atsu. They are teammates, of course, but Ricky Maru's been making his way up quite quickly to Atsu.
Absolutely. What do they do in terms of tactics now? Ricky Maru has got in front of Atsu. Atsu's now got the Red Bull shadowing him down the straight as he tries to brake test. They certainly came to blows. Mike fault particularly there. Dirty Taffy is in second position, has no front wing, and has to do the next 3 laps here without a front wing. That's going to be difficult. It does look like Atsu's car is a little bit more stable, but I can't imagine how difficult these cars are to drive after you've been hit several times, AJ.
Yeah, actually brake tested Dirty Taffy there up into the hill of turn 3, so his rear wing must be in critical condition, so he'll be struggling heavily through these corners. But yeah, actually taking a bit of a team game there, preventing Taffy to potentially launch anything on Ricky Maru. So good team game there. But now he's got Alpha Alex right on the back there, and Alpha Alex taking a completely different line. What's that going to do? He's actually going to respond with something there. He's just trying to weave a little bit. But it looks like he's staying ahead. Oh, Alpha Alex just having a little bit of a look.
Great call from XDF1 Pro in the live chat, who told me that Lenny and Studios were near each other, and they did exactly deliver what I was expecting them to. They're in 9th and 10th positions. More damage, more bits of car lying on the outside of corners all over the place. And here is Atsu then trying to hold off Alpha Alex in the Alfa Romeo, appropriately enough. Although misspelling, and side by side, sidewall to sidewall, elbows out, and that's as egregious as it gets. Through goes Lemmy here into 3rd position now. Psycho Lemmy in the Alpha Tauri. We had an Alpha Tauri at the top of the order through qualifying. He didn't last very long, but his teammate into 3rd position now, and I'm just trying to find out where the drivers are close to one another on track, because it's not always by the intervals. It's just a matter. We've got a McLaren in the pits getting some damage repair, I think. That must be Lenny, and he's on his way out. You can't really get him up to any trouble in the pit lane, but you can certainly turn the car around at the exit of the pit lane and go and play spoiler. 10 cars remain of the 19 starters with 2 laps to go, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. But watch Lenny into this now. He's just been fed right into this little podium battle. Of course, he's a lap down now, but watch that McLaren now. Is he going to go for something? No. He backs off. In fact, cuts the corner completely there. It's not the fastest line through there, but he's kept out. Oh, Psycho Lemmy somehow dropping it midway through the straight there, but he's kept it out of the walls. But yeah, I think the closest battle on track right now is between Taffy and Psycho Lemmy.
Yeah, it looks like certainly Lenny in that 10th position trying to find a way through. Dirty Taffy in 2nd, Psycho Lemmy in 3rd place. Alpha Alex not far behind, and surely there's going to be some issue here. It looks like Lenny has the faster of the 2 cars with has got that damage repaired. We've got the Red Bull of Dirty Taffy has no front wing and is trying to navigate these corners with no front wing. Some very creative lines being taken here, and we have plenty of drivers side by side on the circuit. We've got Ricky Marou, though, 8 seconds to the good. 10.8 seconds to the good at the head of the field with no one around him. Could Ricky Marou end up with a famous win here after having one ruined for him yesterday? It's Leigh going side by side here with the Red Bull once again. Too late on the brakes, though.
Yeah, just too hot. Leigh, though, surprisingly, he might be in last place, but he's not really trying to pull something here. But definitely the battle for the podium is where it's going to get spicy. Last few corners, of course, last lap as Alpha Alex sends one on the Red Bull. The Red Bull then comes across to block Psycho Leigh. Psycho Leigh gets through, but I don't think that's over for Dirty Taffy. And it just has to stay back, does the Red Bull.
Coming through turn 9, Ricky Marou, car 47 for Haas. Looks like he's going to have done everything he needed to do. Ricky Marou wins his own race here in race 3 of 6 of our championship. Alpha Alex is going to come up behind. Lots of cars running super wide out of the corner. Alpha Alex looks like he's going to get that second position. And Psycho Leigh for Alpha Tauri in third. We're going to have a good division of points across the order. Dirty Taffy gets 4th place for Red Bull as Atsu is trying to find a way through. Finishes nose to tail with Ollie in 6th. We've got Time Worn Actor getting a good positional points haul for the Alfa Romeo group as well in 2nd and 4th. But 1st and 5th, Haas with 2 finishes. Now we've got Ferrari with Milan in 8th position, picking up some points to bring the car home, but struggling to get the front end pointed in the right direction here. And then it looks like we're going to get Studios home in 9th. Lenny's already been lapped and has crossed the line. Studios in 9th, but it's Ricky Marou, AJ, who managed to survive that particular war of attrition.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He pretty much led earlier on, but the worry was when he would have to pit, but he still came out into a pretty decent spot. But fair play from Atsu, though. Atsu really did help him gain that gap as he was fighting with Taffy there. So that was a bit of a good team strategy call from the Haas duo.
Very much so. We've got the podium ceremony, as it were. It's almost... I don't think anyone deserves a podium the way they've been driving, but they get given champagne nonetheless. We'll now see a change in the drivers' standings. We've got Ricky Marou, who I felt yesterday already had a target on his back because it was his brainchild. But El Plan wiped out. He'll be back for Monaco and trying to survive. But the drivers well aware now, if they weren't already, that El Plan had the lead of the championship, and it was by a significant margin. I think, though, no one is stringing together a dominant display. Lots of drivers effectively just having to try and survive. Lenny managed the fastest lap, a 105.2, but Ricky Marou brought the car home for the full 25 points. Alpha Alex in 2nd, Psycho Leigh in 3rd. We have Dirty Taffy in 4th and Atsu in 5th. Doesn't really matter where they qualified, because there were just so many events on track. 6th place was Ollie, Time Worn Actor in 7th, Milan in 8th, Studios in 9th, and Lenny then there in 10th position. Then we have everybody else DNFing. They'll be hoping for better results, of course, in the following race. Kenton, though, was the one to watch for qualifying in the Red Bull Ring. Anyone's guess, AJ, in Monaco, right?
Completely. Now, it's almost a complete different opposite to what we just had here. Instead of having that, so much runoff area, now it's just within the barriers. So it's gonna be interesting, of course, the rain as well incoming. So it's I think we're gonna see a lot less finishers than we just did. 50% actually finished in this race, so quite impressive considering all the rules are essentially kind of turned off there. So
the only thing that would perhaps save the retirements in Monaco might be the fact that the closing speeds won't be too great when they actually do come together, and you can't disappear far off the racetrack and end up hitting the barrier with a great deal of force. There's a few places where obviously you would end up damaging the car, but I think that those closing speeds are going to be a lot closer. So I think we'll see a lot of kind of like bowling ball ricocheting off the bumpers situation going on. But let's see what happens. I mean, Monaco in league racing is difficult enough. Monaco in the wet league racing is doubly hard. This is ridiculous, quite frankly, tonight.
Well, I don't think I'll be hearing any no heroics into Sandevot because, yeah, that's not going to go down very well.
No, we might see a little shortcut through Sandevot. We might see the Nouvelle Chicane be skipped, but you've got to be pretty careful there. I can see those curbs launching the car, and there's a big nasty wall on the right hand side as you approach the Nouvelle Chicane to wipe out. But I have to say, I haven't done a great deal of research. I haven't tried to find new routes around this racetrack. There may be a turn in the tunnel you can make work, but we will see as we join the drivers for one-shot qualifying in a moment, followed by, of course, a 25% race. I can't give you updated standings. We'll do that. Oh, maybe I can. Flipping heck. Ricky Moreau is incredibly quick at this. He still sees, at the moment, provisional points here. He still sees El Plan in the lead on 66 points, with Atsu now in second on 48, and Ricky himself on 43, with Milan on 42 points. We're in joint fifth place. Provisional results here, Alpha Alex and Diecta Ollie. I don't know why I'm saying provisional. No stewards are going to correct anything, are they? We've got Time World Actor on 38, Lemmy on 37, and Risto on 35. In terms of the all-important team standings, Haas have 91, Aston Martin 90. Couldn't be much closer between those two. Then we have Alfa Romeo in third, Ferrari in fourth, and Williams in fifth place. McLaren are at the tail of the standings at this point. Ricky has been incredibly quick. That is some lightning quick team standings and updated driver standings there, Ray J. I don't think I've ever had anything quite so quick.
Absolutely incredible. I think that, you know what that means? We should just race without rules. If it means your standings get updated, brilliant. Most unofficial official race results and your standings. Brilliant.
Definitely.
Stuff.
Very, very good. Very quick and enjoyable. Drivers asking for a quick break. I don't think they're going to get given one. We've got 19 races ready to go, I think. Whether we get the ready up command, Ricky will be the one that decides the ready up situation, of course. So he will just make sure that everything is as it should be for us as we go racing. Oh man, this is going to be quite interesting. A wet to dry Monaco. And no rules, no real track limits to abuse, particularly. A couple of opportunities maybe around the track, but the garage for the first few laps, I think it might be a smart decision. Ricky gives us the thumbs up to go, and we will see then what will the drivers do in terms of quali. Will they set up for some rain, or will they go out there? Normally, AJ, you're my weatherman when I'm commentating, you're populating the weather forecast, but we're not privy as spectators to the specific weather forecast, so we'll just have to play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you reach a track like Monaco, you're pretty much running the highest wings anyway because of all the corners approaching you. So I don't think it'll be too much different that you would for the rain. But yeah, we do know it'll go rain into dry. Yeah, we lost 9 drivers in the span of 18 laps in Austria, but I have a feeling we're going to lose at least 9 in the span of one corner. Well, Monaco. So, yeah.
Well, all the photographs of Monaco that we see on the loading screen are all in bright sunshine. I'm not quite sure what qualifying weather conditions are going to be, but we know that the start of the race is expected to be wet. So we're looking forward to seeing how the drivers tackle this. So Ollie is telling us we've got wet, wet and wet, and then medium and soft. He's just guessing, I think, quite frankly. So I wonder what life is like if you've got the all-information race engineer in your ear while all of this is going on. I'm sure that they haven't coded the communications from the team pit wall to suit a no rules race, because the predictions are just going to be all over the shop.
Well, I think the way F124 is seeming to recede to the public, they probably should start thinking about making it like that. But yeah, it might be for the best.
Okay, so it's looking like it's sunny at the moment, although the pit lane in the shadow. We've got everything on its way. Response saying no one's going to be able to take him out because he's going to end up taking himself out first. And we've got Studio saying he could have been higher, but he had to play the game. XDF1 Pro, so he's going to cook here. 10 seconds to go for one-shot quali. Let's see what the drivers come up with for creative lines around this circuit, and how quick can they manage to go around the Principality. Here we go then.
We will definitely see some wall riding. I have a feeling about that. I can tell you that right now, as Respawn's already taking himself out.
They are retiring. They are deliberately retiring from this one. What is going on? Why on earth would they do that before Sander Vott? Psycho Lemmy is the fastest driver at the moment. He's in the lead going through and in towards Mirabeau now. He's got the purple first sector, of course. And then we've got the hotel chicane. The hotel hairpin. Then into the next few corners. No way of finding a faster route through here. This is going to be very difficult as we go into the tunnel next. Then we'll see the opportunity down into the Nouvelle chicane. Normally you are braking just as you get off the crest of the hill, but straight on we go. I can see drivers pushing each other into that wall, and then trying to tackle to back, but of course you're attacking to back at a much faster rate, cutting the corner through the piscine, the swimming pool exit, and then it's round Ras Kass and Anthony Knows. Nothing else to do through here. DRS open as they take the short run. Looks like it's going to be Lemmy versus Lenny on the front row, just to make life incredibly difficult for the commentators. It's 105.2 for Psycho Lemmy. How many retirements in qualifying? That's absolutely ridiculous. What I can't understand, AJ, is why so many drivers lost the car before Sander Vott.
I think some drivers are saying, no, you can start ahead of me, I'll start at the back, thank you. But they all have the same idea, so everyone's going to be with everyone anyway. So it's going to be a very interesting lap one, I'd say.
Yeah, so Respawn's saying it'll be carnage at the start. If you start last, you can evade the carnage. I'm not so sure, because everybody's had the same idea. So you could end up having retired early and ended up at the front. But he was the first retiree, so at least he's got the opportunity to do that. Psycho Lemmy, 0.7 of a second he found over Lenny. Then comes Alpha Alex, Carmad, Bucko, El Plan in 6th. Then Mika, Ollie, Time Worn Actor, and Milan. Actually made a fair attempt at qualifying, at least. Everybody else managed to either deliberately or accidentally retire, and we'll be on track in a moment then for our fourth race of 6 in this League of Destruction. Let's see what else everybody decides to do here. I can just see AJ though getting side by side coming out of the tunnel. Someone's going into that wall.
Well, you need some Isaac Hadjar reactions for that one then. But I'm trying to imagine, how are we going to get 19 drivers to go into turn 1 in Monaco? You can barely do it under normal conditions. Yeah. How are we going to do it tonight? I struggle to see how that's going to work.
Not only that, but it's going to be in the wet as well. It's not torrential rain, so it's easily as intermediate. I wonder if anyone's brave enough to sit on the dry tyres to start with, knowing it's going to dry up. But surely you need to be on inters here, AJ.
Yeah, I would go inters personally speaking, but in a league of no rules, why not go for the softs? But I know, of course, there isn't a mandatory pit stop if it stays within the rain. True. But I believe, though, if it does transition into dry, does the rules stay the same? I'm not too sure, unless you can confirm that. I think if you start,
I think the game should be coded to the point where if you start in wet tyres, there is no mandatory pit stop anymore. So yes, if you're brave enough to start on the medium tyres, you could potentially run this whole race without having to stop.
Okay, so, well, there you go then. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone puts a set of softs on or mediums. Absolutely struggle, but you know what? If it works, well, they can do it. But someone is definitely going to be wall riding in the hotel hairpin. I'll place my bet right now, £10, someone is doing it. If someone doesn't do that, I will be amazed.
We've got Massenet as well, which is always difficult to avoid the walls in dry conditions when everyone is trying their hardest to race according to track limits. So Massenet, I think, is going to be interesting in the wet. That's definitely a good candidate for wall riding, but of course, the damage isn't completely off on these cars, and we may live to regret that. Here comes the red lights then. It's time to go racing. Lots of drivers jumping the start again, and there's no way through. You can't jumping the start isn't going to help anyone. We've already got side-by-side situation happening, as that looks like Lemmy into the lead, and he's trying to get away, and El Plan has retired. El Plan has been sideswiped into the barriers through Sandovot already. And we've got our first retiree with his teammate Respond at the back of the grid, trying to tiptoe his way around. Bucko has been passed by Respond, and will we see any further action? AJ, what any other incidents you've seen on your end?
Maybe apart from the entire grid going everywhere. Honestly speaking, I can't tell. But
complete fishtailing from Lemmy and the Alpha Tauri there into the hairpin. We've got Lenny, who's managed to get ahead, headed towards the hairpin, and now it's our first foray into the tunnel. I'm going to ride on board with Ole as we have the spray, we have everything happening in front of him. No one's going to dare break for the Nouvelle Chicane, and it looks like everybody managing to make their way through the Nouvelle Chicane. But as I say, through to back, you are attacking to back at much higher speed than you're used to, and you already have to kind of throw the car in fairly blind. We've got Lenny in front of Lemmy right now, and in terms of tyre selection, everybody has gone for the intermediates out there.
I was about to say, Respond was that was Bucco giving Ricky Moore an absolute shove out of the Nouvelle Chicane. I'm stunned they're both driving right now. But more important question, how have we had the least amount of retirements I've ever seen around Monaco when there's no rules? I cannot believe it. It's something that is blowing my mind right now.
Bucco is living up to his name here. He's almost sideways into the pit lane, struggling to hold the car in the line he was trying to go for, as both Red Bulls have had to pit, and they're trying the hard tyres. Respond makes his way through an absolute carnage position at the Sandovot. We had several cars side by side. One of those was Kenton, who couldn't be having a more different start to this race than he had to the evening's sessions, with his pole position in the Red Bull ring. He's now down into 17th. At least though he's still running, AJ.
I'm surprised though how he's keeping that car on the track. Even he is honestly sliding around on those hard tyres. But he had to avoid. I think it was the AlphaTauri of Kenton. Kenton was on the pit lane exit. All of a sudden, he sees that Alpha Alex is out of the session. What's happened there?
Yeah, him and Ashtube were together for a moment, and he's lost the car on the exit to back. Floyd Pink manages to slow in time to not hit Alpha Alex, but I think some drivers are going to struggle. I think the car has finally ghosted, but Floyd Pink just avoided him. Alpha Alex had just, I think, overtaken Ashtube, and there was certainly some retaliation happening, I think, going on. Some Raskas parking happening from studios at the moment in the Alpine, and he's being incredibly cagey as to whether he lets Respond go through or not. So El Plan and Alpha Alex out so far. It's lap 3 of 20 here at Monaco as we go well into the pit lane, skip out the official apex of Sandovot. And there's certainly plenty of drivers have tried that line in on the track racing over the years. Milan is struggling through the corners at the moment. Couldn't get around the hairpin, and had a little cheeky reset to track, I think, getting himself a bit stuck on the barrier.
I was actually on board with Milan and Ashtube. They were side by side going into the hairpin. Ashtube just gave him a little nudge and completely put Milan in the wall. So that's cost Milan a place. But yeah, Ashtube's made up one, so I think he doesn't care at the moment. But yeah.
Ollie right with Atsu as well, and both drivers deciding to skip out the second part of the swimming pool chicane, but unfortunately that line takes you straight over some nasty curbs. That was a problem going on just ahead of those drivers on the track as well. That looked like bits of Red Bull flying on track, and that one of those Red way down the order and taking the long way around the corners at the moment. We'll see if they actually decide to brake for the corner. But Atsu ahead of Ole, in between both Williams at the moment, with Mika some 3 seconds up ahead. But that's nothing around this Monaco circuit.
No, absolutely. But I'd like to know who is in charge of the strategy at Red Bull right now, because it's all coming downhill. They're skating around the track on the hard tyres. Unless they're looking at a different track than what we're seeing tonight, I don't know, but they're skating around. I don't want to know what their plan is, but I have a feeling that they're going to try and hold people up here.
From Atsu to Ollie, who manages to lose his front wing now, and you don't want to be driving Monaco in the wet without a front wing. He's got the Ferrari pushing him from behind at the moment. Can't really do anything to brake check someone if they're attached to your diffuser. As now the Williams trying to find his way into the pits, reversing on the straight in order to get the car turned into the pit lane, and Ollie then into the pits for a new front wing. Lenny leads this race by 4.6 seconds at the moment, and you're right, AJ, this is quite astonishing. At our third retirement only in the first 5 laps, Kalmar F1 has wiped out, and Sander Vort, and not ghosted either, and Ricky Maru collected him. His teammate Milan managed to navigate through that gap, but Ricky did catch the back, and I'm wondering if Ricky has lost an end plate. He has indeed on that Haas.
I'm more impressed the fact he's only lost an end plate. He gave it a fairly good whack to that Ferrari. Did Ricky Maru, but yeah, 3 retirements in 5 laps. Are we sure the rules are set here to completely off? Because it's incredible.
It really is. I think we are seeing drivers being actually losing, not able to do a lot deliberately, shall we say, around this circuit. They're just coping right now in the wet. And it does actually look like it might be drying up a little bit here, AJ, at the moment.
Yeah, the rain, in fact, has actually stopped. So now it's when does it start to form that dry line? I think the key indication is the Red Bulls. They're on the dry tyres, and in fact they've even come into the pits again. So they've made multiple stops now, one of them on the mediums, and Dirty Taffy coming on to another set of mediums. So have a look on them for sure. As Psycho Lemmy into the pits, he's gone for the mediums.
He has gone in for the mediums, and he's just given up the position to Mika, to Atsu and Ashtub right now. So the lead driver on the dry tyres is Psycho Lemmy, and straight away out of the pit lane, he's managed to spot the barriers. We've got Ricky Maru with XDF1 Pro all over the road, trying to wipe him out. XDF1 Pro is finding a way through. Ricky just tiptoeing on the recovery here. Managed to keep the car relatively safe and intact. He's still got that end plate missing, but he is still able to run. But XDF1 Pro very much playing spoiler here today, AJ.
Yeah, he's saying let's just completely throw the car around here, but watch a little bit of a battle as a Red Bull is somehow in the barrier, through the barrier in fact, but watch out, there's a few more cars coming to the back of this little fight with XDF1 Pro.
Definitely, he was trying to find his way around, and we had one of the Red Bulls trying to settle himself. There's someone driving a Max Verstappen helmet here. That's Ollie. In a Williams. Looked very odd for a moment there, in a mostly blue car, but Ollie gets the fastest sector in the middle sector of the racetrack as he's now trying to move forward. Lemmy has passed Ashtube, so it does look like those medium tyres, AJ, the right ones to be on.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go on the hards. Those will not fire up at all. But I still think there's a little bit too much spray, if I'm being honest. Still think the Inters could be the faster type. And in fact, as I say that, race control tells us DRS enabled, and it looks like the softs are going to be better now.
Yeah, and XDF1 Pros just put the soft tyres on, but they're not going to last 13 race laps, I don't think, those soft tyres on a 25% distance. That means 4 times normal tyre wear. So I mean, it doesn't really matter how worn your tyres are in Monaco in normal racing, but this is not normal racing. So while we don't usually see overtaking in Monaco, you can certainly find a way past, AJ, I think.
I think they don't care what the tyre wear is. It's just throw it into the corner, and whoever's in front, thank you very much, I'll take that.
Lenny in from the lead then. Atsu, I think, on his way in as well. As Psycho Lemmy tries to find a way through. Atsu tried to play some games there, but he missed, I think. Lemmy found a way through, and he's into second position. I think, well, I might be being unkind to Atsu. He's lost his front wing, and he's still on the intermediate tyres. They have overheated, and he's trying to find enough steering lock and front wing performance to get into the pit lane. In he comes then from fourth position. So the new order on lap 8 is Lenny from Lemmy, as they were before. we're going to have Ashtube coming through into 4th place now. We still have 16 runners, but the Red Bulls are almost certainly going to be lapped very soon because they've had such a problem out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It wasn't the right call for all the Red Bull boys, but I mean, as a commentator with some experience of normal racing, I was just praying that the Hasselhoff actually wouldn't get collected after that spin. A little bit of a dangerous rejoin to track, but yeah, he's luckily got it kept round and going. But the spray's completely gone. The softer tyres are now the way to go, and we should see, I think there's that ash tubes on the back of a Red Bull now. So now the Red Bulls will show more true pace. Potentially,
yeah. We've got Respond tiptoeing his way up through the order. He was dead last at the start, deliberately so, and has taken this very carefully and cagily. New fastest lap from Psycho Lemmy there, a 109.5. Respond deliberately putting himself out of harm's way as Kenton comes through into P9. Now, we've got plenty of drivers on soft tyres out there, and I'd be surprised if they can hold on to those soft tyres, even around a circuit like Monaco, all the way to the end of the race. XDF1 Pro, Studios, Time Warn Actor and Floyd Pink, all on the soft tyres right now.
Well, another thing to remember is as they go through into this race, the fuel burns down, and the track is much cooler temperature due to that rain. So they should be not in the best condition, but they should just get right to the end.
Yeah, it's lap 9 of 20. We are almost done with our racing tonight, but don't forget we'll be back tomorrow for the culmination of this championship. And it does look like I can rely on Ricky to help us with the standings before we close out tomorrow. Respond goes into the pits. Now that is an unusual one. Respond into the pits didn't look like he needed a front wing for definite, but they are changing that front wing and putting another new set of mediums on.
Maybe it's a little last 10 lap sprint for him, but clearly feeling something with the car that he's not happy with. As Ricky Maroon Diactoli gets through ahead, but a little bit of a fight here with Floyd Pink and Diactoli. I think one of the closest on track at the moment through here.
Yeah, we've got Ricky Maroon just coming upon that battle as well. Floyd Pink in the Mercedes. We've got both Williams next to each other on the circuit, which is interesting because I think they're a lap apart. I think that's Mika up the road ahead of then Ollie and Ricky Maroon. So a lap down Ricky Maroon and Mika at this stage at the halfway point of our Monaco. I'm not even going to call it a Grand Prix because that would be too good a word for what we're up to here. It's just a race meet, I think, frankly.
Well, I'd be calling it a regular online multiplayer lobby with my experience on this game. So, yeah, but I'm like I said earlier, how are we at the moment having more finishers at this rate than we did in Austria? I simply don't get it. As Ricky Murray gives Diactoli a little bit of a nudge through that corner.
Oh, and
it's a Mercedes of Floyd Pink.
Trying and succeeding, frankly. Floyd Pink's wiping out 3 other cars as they come through down the start-finish straight. Floyd Pink did exactly what he intended to do there, I think, AJ.
Well, somewhat, yes, but the thing is, they've gone through him, so he's without a front wing, and now he's going to have to pay the price of getting this car to the end.
I can understand playing spoiler if you've got a teammate up in the order, but if you're the only car left of your team, or the only car that's shown up of your team for racing tonight, what's the point?
Well, yeah, it's put him way behind now, a few seconds, and he doesn't have a front wing. Now, of course, he can slow down, start to get lapped a bit, and then pull that game again, but...
Bucko has bucked his way out of this race as he goes through past the swimming pool. He's got turned around.
To cut in, there's a bit of a pile-up in the final corner now with Lenny. Oh, and Psycho Lemmy as well. It's all gone disaster in the final 2 corners. And Psycho Lemmy through Lenny now. And wow.
Yeah, Lemmy up into P1. Lenny dropping down to P2 as the Williamses come through the order together again. I think there might have been someone stopped perhaps at Anthony Nogue, AJ, because it looked like everyone struggled to get through.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There was an Alpine parked. I'm not sure which. I'd imagine, to be honest, it's probably XT1 Pro.
Yes.
I believe it's here who was locked up there as an Alpha and Aston Martin's
Yep.
just completely binned it. Is that Respond is causing a little bit of havoc now with the two Williams.
Brilliant
boy.
stuff. Both Williams drivers avoiding Respond by going either side of him, and he couldn't quite do any damage that time. Fantastic stuff from both Mika and from Ollie as they take the Williams cars a lap apart, but right together on track. Respond is coming to tackle these drivers, and it looks like Ollie saw that coming. Lemmy out from the lead of the race. AJ, Lemmy out, and it looks like that's down into the Raskas. There he is. Out of the race.
It's the Haas of Atsu as well he's collided with. Atsu's without a front wing. So, wow, okay, so I think that was, that's completely changed the complexity of this race now.
Oh, we've got one of the Williams cars, that's Mika, going wrong as they approach Saint Devot. He also was trying to do a 3 or 4 point turn on the start-finish straight there for a moment. We've also got then Floyd Pink side by side with another driver as they head through the tunnel. That's a Haas driven, I think, by Ricky Maru. These two know each other from the International Racing League, and certainly enjoying a little bit of needle with each other. And there goes Floyd Pink taking out Ricky Maru as one of the other cars comes flying past the two of them. Ricky can't get this car pointed in the straight line, but Floyd Pink found a way through, and Ricky Maru down to P14. Respond, he's playing it very carefully, but he is down in 15th place, AJ, right now.
Yeah, and without a front wing as well, so he's going to be struggling through these corners. But I feel like the drivers have been listening on to the stream at the moment, and they're starting to turn up the notch a little bit now. Quite a few drivers have... Oh, as in fact, as I say that, Respond gets pushed. I think that's from the McLaren of Ashtube, is it? It was. Ashtube puts Respond into the wall, and I think there's a down the main straight as well with the McLaren of Lenny. Lenny getting tapped from the Haas of Atsu. So, it's game on and now. Oh, up the hill, the two boys. Oh, stay. Please keep it going, boys. Don't take each other out. Keep it going. There's a few laps to go. That's Atsu into the McLaren. Incredible.
Atsu retires. Yeah, we've got Lenny trying his level best to complete this race. Ashtube in P2, nowhere near this group, but Ricky Maru down the inside. We've got an Alpine blocking the way. No one's going to find a way through here, surely. 4 wide through out of the hairpin is never going to happen. There's a Red Bull getting elbowed into the barriers once again. Lenny still leads this race, but he has got plenty of company as he heads through the tunnel here.
Watch as you get out of it and past the new chicane. Someone's going off. That's the McLaren backing off as well. Lenny knew what was going to happen there. He backed off. But now he's got his teammate Ashtube right on the back of this little fight. Ashtube gets through. That's a crash with a...
How do you avoid trouble like that? That was a Mick Schumacher type of crash out of the swimming pool. And the driver's just driving on the edge of their nerves, I think, here, trying to stay on. Psycho Lemmy saying Atsu's lucky they're not in the same room with each other right now. So Atsu escaping trouble. He's managed to end up out because it was Lemmy who was well in the lead of this race. He thought he had it sewn up. Now it is the turn of the similarly named Lenny, who is navigating his way through. Floyd Pink is still wiping everybody out that he can possibly see on the racetrack. It's lap 15 of 20. The McLarens are 1-2 right now, and they were at the bottom of the championship standings just one race ago. So they'll take a big leap forward here. I can't exactly track who to watch on track at the moment, but I think Floyd Pink might be a good shout because he's always near the trouble, I think.
He's on a mission to cause havoc for anyone nearby at the moment, as it stands. I'm surprised, though. I think he's clearly got his mindset on someone to mess up, because he did let Ashtube go through. So, unless he knows who he wants to take out at the moment, it was, he goes so slow through there. And that's Kenton into the wall. Kenton's completely gone into the wall there.
Is that going to be another Raskas incident? No, it's not. Where did Kenton retire? I couldn't see. I think he's
just retired after the Nouvelle chicane into that fast sweeping left-hander there.
Floyd Pink ends up in the pit lane by accident. Didn't really mean to go in there, but he had no other choice. So that's another retirement. We are getting down to single figures now. 9 runners remain. Studios at the tail of the top 10 at the moment, but they will pass Kenton, I imagine, before the race is done. I haven't kept track of exactly how far back these drivers are. Ashtube and Lenny still lead this race by a decent chunk, but Ashtube is now catching a Williams up ahead, and yeah, there we go. A little bit of contact there as Ollie tried to play spoiler. Didn't quite work though, and now Ashtube has got a nice healthy gap in front. Lenny's got to get past the Williams as well now, and they're just making life incredibly difficult, AJ, to get through.
Yeah, the McLaren boys just need to finish this race because they are at the bottom, so they just need to get some crucial points. As Dick to Ollie making life completely hell for Lenny. Lenny still can't get through, but Lenny will shove his way through, in fact. And he's through him. So yeah. Worry is clear for Lenny.
He made light work of that one with Ollie now spun 180 degrees. Ollie back into the pit lane. We've got Mika in the Williams. Coming up to behind an Alpine. That must be, well, I don't know which of the Alpines that one is, either Studios or Floyd Pink, and he's straight into the back of them because we've got a brake check going on the way into Sandavot. So Mika in third is going to struggle to survive this, I think. He's got a nice healthy gap over Milan, but who else is coming up behind? We certainly had another driver. It was one of the Alpines. They're certainly working together because they're not driving each other off the track at this stage. As Mika now using a front wingless car, almost looks like a oval configured Indy car as they try to get round the hairpin. And he's got the two Alpines directly behind him on the track, but they're not able to play spoiler. They're just that little bit too far away.
So Ashtube, though, he might have a good gap behind, but he also has a good gap ahead of him. So he should be, as long as he doesn't go overly fast compared to his rivals, he should be in quite a good position to take this win. Absolutely,
and no one decides to suddenly from P9 or P8 decides to start running backwards. That's got to be another situation, and we've got three wide on the way through the Nouvelle chicane here. The debris is travelling faster down the track than Floyd Pink at the moment, who is trying to inch his way through and just ruin everybody's race. Studio's out, so that's 8 runners remain with 2 laps to go. This is anybody's still, I think, because the drivers will now start thinking about going backwards around the track.
Yeah, into the single digits now for the race finishers. As it really should be, to be honest. No disrespect, but as it should be around here.
Straight out the pits for Mika, and Floyd Pink takes him out again. Takes himself out more so, though, and loses what was left of his front wing. Ashtube has gone into the pits right at the end of this race. Is he doing the same tactic we saw yesterday to avoid that El Plan took, to avoid being taken out down the start-finish straight? Ashtube in the pits, new front wing. Looks like the other McLaren coming in as well, AJ.
Yeah, they're trying to play it safe at the moment, but that now feeds the Ferrari. I think there's a Ferrari going. Is that the Alfa Romeo? Sorry. Yeah. It is. So that now puts them into a position where they're going to have a driver around them. So if I was them, I'd be quite nervous. Whatever time when actor does. There's a little bit of slowing down, in fact, on the main straight. Is that XD1? There's a little bit of a blockage now as the
Where do you go? There's no way through.
It's a roadblock, but who else is coming behind? They've got a little bit of a gap as now Ashtube ghosts through and gets back on track, but still, is that the Alfa Romeo? Yeah, the Alfa Romeo slowing down on purpose now. Yeah. He knows who he wants to fight with.
As is the Williams, as Lenny can't find a way through. He has to deal with 2 cars. Lenny is still holding on, though, to second position, and he's behind one of the Williams drivers, out of position at the moment, and trying to find a way through. Can't make it work right now. But what does Lenny do here with Milan just 1.4 seconds away? They've lost their lead by pitting. He finds his way down the inside, does the McLaren driver, and forces his way through.
Watch out, XD1 Pro is going the wrong way. Watch out for the Alpine. But Ashtube still just gets, I believe, just gets through. Yes, he does. He's in clear air now. But watch out for XD1 Pro.
Well, I think he's kind of spoiling here. He's trying to go backwards down the start-finish straight to spoil someone's race, but he actually stopped Floyd Pink from doing the same thing. Crossing the line, that looked like it might have been Ashtube just getting through and narrowly avoiding. So he has just got 1 lap to go as he goes up the order. XDF1 Pro has taken himself out. There are 7 drivers remaining at the moment now on the final lap of this race, at least for the leader.
Yeah, XD1 Pro in fact took out and in fact held up the McLaren of Mika and Lenny. But Lenny still got Deck to Milan right on the rear, so this could be quite an end to the Grand Prix. Or as you say, you can't even call it a Grand Prix. More like an online race lobby the way it's going. But 7 remain on the final lap.
Yeah, here comes Milan then. He's also got Mika not far behind. Or is that Ollie a lap down? Ollie with letting the rear end of the car slide out on him, going through the casino hairpin. Ashtube is in the lead of this race. He's heading towards the swimming pool section. No, he's not. He's going round Raskas in towards Anthony Nogue. Ashtube, I think, with a 13-second lead. Ashtube is going to survive and win for McLaren in the Monaco lobby race. He's waiting here to cross the line. He's going to try and cross the line backwards, I think. There he goes, indeed. So he's managed to stop. Ollie retires on the final lap of the race. Lenny comes through in second, and that means that Milan will bring that Ferrari home into 3rd position. Mika will be the sole surviving Williams if he can get round these next few corners. Time Worn Actor and Floyd Pink could end up with a top 5 and 6 positions respectively if they can unlap themselves from the retirement of Ollie, who may well find himself getting a classified finish here coming out at the final lap. Nice little slide from Mika round Raskas, and then he doesn't quite judge it to the same level of perfection going into Anthony Nogues, but he's 4th position. Time Worn Actor's already crossed the line, so will not finish ahead of Ollie. Then we've got Floyd Pink finishing out here. No front wing. I don't know how many front wings we've lost as a total through this race here, AJ.
Yeah, no, front wings everywhere, but Mercedes engineers, hats off, because how has Floyd Pink managed to finish this race with the drama he's caused?
Yeah, they built that one out of concrete, I think, for today, and it was certainly going slow enough to be the situation. Well, we've got Studios signing off and saying thank you for the coverage. We've enjoyed it, no end, Studios. Thanks to everyone who's watched. We'll go through the final standings and the mini standings from tonight's 2 races, and I'll give you updated standings if they come in, but if not, of course, at the start of tomorrow night's coverage. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button, like the video if you can, and for the culmination of the League of Destruction tomorrow at the same time wherever you are in the world on this channel. The famous Monaco trophy there being lifted aloft. Champagne, there's no Prince Albert on the podium to soak with champagne, so they have clearance, I think, to use the champagne on the podium. Got a Ferrari up there as well, but the McLarens, AJ, with a great performance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They needed that, crucially, at the back of that Constructors' Championship. But yeah, Ashtube, he came out from quite far back, in fact, at the start of the race, and he made it work. So congrats to him.
Definitely. Lenny in 2nd place then. We've got a fastest lap from Lemmy down in 13th position. I don't know if that will give him the 5 bonus points. Milan in 3rd, Mika in 4th. We've got Ollie in 5th. Time Worn Actor coming through. Ollie was classified in 5th but didn't actually finish the race. Time Worn Actor and Floyd Pink were 2 laps down each, and then a big long string of retirees. We thought we were seeing something strange, seeing so many drivers still running at the half distance. It looks like it's raining again in Monaco, but 4 pit stops for Mika, he says. So he certainly had plenty of opportunity in there. No standings for you tonight, I don't think, but we'll get them to you in time for the start of the coverage tomorrow. Thanks to everyone for watching. AJ, it's been an absolute laugh tonight. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for the 3rd night of this championship. But anything else to add tonight before we say goodbye?
I'd like to say, wow, what an experience that was. That was something completely different I've ever commentated on. I'm kind of lost for words, to be honest, but I'd love to say great driving standards, but I don't think I could really say that after tonight. I mean, but yeah, just well done for finishing, I guess.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it was a fun time.
Good stuff. Well, thanks to everyone for watching, contributing. Thanks for the comments and for the new subscribers as well. That's fantastic to see. We'll see you tomorrow, but for now, from the League of Destruction, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next race day.